What's going on, traders? Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I wanted to go ahead and give you guys another recap and let you know how my day trading went. And so as you guys can see on your screen, unfortunately today was another red day, right? So I've been on a big red streak the past few weeks. I was down $80 pretty much on ticker symbol TQQQ and $73 on SQQQ, right? And so these were all my filled orders, as you guys can see. The price points that I was trading them here on the right, and the quantity, right, and the ETF itself here in the middle. But I wanted to go ahead and get right into the breakdown. And so today, pretty much what I wanted to talk about was, as usual, what I think led to me ending red on the day and what I could do better moving on forward to the rest of the week. And so pretty much where I lost the majority of my money was as the market opened, this thing aggressively started to fall. And right around this area here, you guys can see it actually bounced. And so I decided to get into TQQQ. And as this thing, bounced, I thought it was going to continue to rally up in hopes that it would continue this higher high pattern, right? But it unfortunately got rejected, and I did a better job today at cutting my losses. And ultimately, right as it approached the middle VWAP, I decided to get in one more time. And as you guys can see, it bounced and ultimately got rejected again and ended up selling off aggressively here. So I ended up taking some losses. And I think I was actually able to take one last trade here as this thing picked back up and started to fall. I got into the inverse ETF and was able to make some money back, but ultimately this thing started to change direction. And I tried getting into, the inverse ETF ticker symbol SQQQ, thinking this aggressive sell-off was going to continue, right, to bleed on the day. And ultimately it just ended up trading sideways, right? And ended up pushing up and pulling back, pushing up and pulling back, and just pretty much trading sideways the rest of the day before it did ultimately end up selling off, right? As you guys can see over here. So what I did a bad job of today was going with the flow. And what I mean by that is, although it wasn't, the worst idea to try getting into TQQQ because of the fact that it was, indicating signs of an uptrend, ultimately because of the fact that it was getting rejected, right, continuously by the EMA. So as it tried popping up, it would get rejected, pop up, get rejected. So what this should have let me know is, although I may think that it is going to continue to uptrend and trade between the top and middle VWAP, it doesn't have to, right? And if I instead started to go with the flow and tried getting into the inverse ETF all the way down here, I could have made money on that and not only on just this little push here, right? Because ultimately, after this thing ran out of steam, right, and it started to change direction, by then I only partook in this little part and I lost on the way down, right? So I need to get into a better habit of going with the flow. And what I realized is when it comes to this thing reversing on the EMA, as you guys can tell, areas like this are very choppy, right? So as soon as this thing would reverse, it would change back down, then reverse, change back down, reverse, change back down, right? So it's very choppy. So if I tried getting into a few trades and realized that, this thing was acting, it wasn't actually choosing a direction, it was more consolidating, what that should have let me know is maybe it's not the best time to actually get into a trade, right? Ultimately, what I should have waited for is maybe later on in the day, when direction starts to indicate signs of it actually selling off or pushing up more clearly, right? And what I mean by that is as this thing's consolidating all day, as you guys can see, it started to make these lower highs. And then it started to get rejected by the EMA, right? And then it aggressively started to sell off. So I could have gotten into the inverse ETF here and made more money. And I could have done so here, right? On this play here. So if I just focused more on going with the flow, it would have allowed me to, not only partake in these big trades, but also it would avoid me taking these losses by writing this down, right? So that's ultimately something I wanted to, make you guys aware of today of where I went wrong and maybe something I can improve on, and hopefully it helps you out. In terms of the grand scheme of things, there is going to be a inflation report released tomorrow, right? And what that's ultimately going to do is if pretty much the report shows that inflation has been increasing again and not actually decreasing, we could potentially see a drop on the Nasdaq, right? But if the report comes out and it's actually inflation was better than we expected, maybe we could actually start to see this thing start to reverse, right? Because we did make this higher low here, from where it bounced at last time. We were able to bounce a bit higher than last time, so that's honestly not a bad sign. So we just have to see ultimately what the report shows tomorrow. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover in today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, I do appreciate if you guys were to like the video and subscribe. It really, really helps us out, and we really do appreciate every single one of you. But yep, and I hope you guys all ended green today, and I'm going to be posting a recap tomorrow, so I will see you guys then. Take care and have a good rest of your day.